Hey guys, it's Shan here, or Shan Damon. I wanted to make this guide for Scrapper because I don't really see any on the internet. Well, I see actual web pages, but I don't really see many videos, so I thought I'd do a favor to help out my future Scrapper mates. So I'm just gonna keep this straight to the point. If you're just here for the skills, I'll straight up just show them right now. But if you want to know, these are the skills I use. If you want to know how I use them and like a little bit more insight on them, then consider sticking around. So first things first, I'm going to talk about the stat points. I go 1000 agility, or swiftness as it's called in the future NA release. Specialty 249 and 1 in crit. You can make the specialty 250 if you want. 1 crit's just there if you're feeling lucky. You never know when you might crit the guy, so you know it's just there. I've had crits randomly through this. It's fun. So the skills I use are advancing strike. This is the dash and the knock up. Depending on tripods you take, you want to take the range increase. It's always useful in PvP. You want to make it so that the last hit knocks people up, and you want to make it so that the speed is increased and deals extra damage to people who are immune to knockback or stun. Yeah, that's this move right here. Another good one is instant hit. If you get that maxed up, I take the range increase by 20%, easier to land, stun duration, and the dash. So that looks like this, easier to land and increased stun duration. So also for instant hit, some people like to take dangerous contract. Basically, it reduces the cooldown, but it also reduces the stun duration. The base stun duration is 1.5. It'll become 1 second, and you have to act really fast to get anything out of it. I don't like using it because a long 2.5 seconds of stun is really good for the rest of your team. And another skill I take is Dragon's Ascent. This is the jump. I take mobility on it. The range increases by 2 meters, and tenacity. Basically harder for me to get knocked out of it. That's this move right here. It's good mobility. If you pair that with your charging blow, you can get some good distance. Yeah, some quick distance. You can use it as a gap closer or an exit. Another skill is Wild Tiger Strike. So this move may look a little lackluster. It's this move. It's a knock up. It's got pretty bad range, but if you take the right tripods, you'll get the fortification is a must on this, I'd say. It makes it so that everyone on your team does 6% more damage to the target for 8 seconds. Basically puts a debuff on them. And this is just preference. I take it, it does more damage to enemies immune to CC. But some people like to take dash range because it makes it easier to land. Yeah, it's a good follow-up. Basically, use this before your hard-hitting moves, which we'll get to. As for the shock skills, I take Sweeping Strike. That's the Giant Energy Fist. If you take a single attack, it's just a straight-up damage increase. Range increase, you do a dash and the damage increase. And another damage increase, but it makes an Energy Fist. That's this move right here. Yeah, it's really quick. It's got short cooldown. You can use it to just follow up with something or start a combo. It does stagger. Fist of Destruction, that's also a good one. It's the one where you just hit the ground 9 times continuously. 9 times only if you take Endless Rage. Otherwise, it's 4 slow hits. I think 9 hits is better because it just gives more opportunities to stagger. Tenacity is always good because it just makes it so that it's harder for you to get knocked out of it. And Great Explosion makes the last hit do a hell of a lot more damage. That's this move right here. True Art Eruption. This is a supported skill. It has 2 parts. You want to take Thunder Fist. I've tested both of these out. Thunder Fist is the best because these two make the move come out a lot slower. Like the startup is a lot slower, and I don't really like that. Plus, this move, Thunder Fist doesn't really change it. It just has a chance to do extra damage by putting Electroshock on him. Want to take Airstrike? It's just extra damage through defense, 60%. And Dragon's Fury, which is the AoE landing part and more damage. That's this move right here. If you hold the button or just spam it, you'll do the both. But if you just press the button, then it only does the uppercut. Depending on the situation, you might only use the uppercut. It's rare, but it happens. And finally, Death Sentence. That's the move where you use all your shock energy, and it does damage based on how much you use. You want to take the attack speed, because this move is really slow. It has no armor, so you kind of want to just cast it as fast as possible. You want to take damage, single target damage increased by 30%, and shock explosion, which makes it do even more damage based on how much shock energy you have. Some people like to take tenacity because they get hit out of it a lot. I personally think the damage is too good. Plus, I often don't get hit out of it because if you're just careless and you want to use it, then go ahead, take tenacity. But I make sure to make it count, so I just take the damage. That's this move right here. It's the one where you just do like a Hadouken, charged up, bang, done. As for the awakening skills, I like to use Peerless Dragon King, mainly because it's the difference is this one just does flat damage, whereas the Transcendental Blow does damage based on how close the guy is to you. And oftentimes I don't really get close enough to the guy to get maximum damage out of this. The difference between these two are this one always does a flat damage of 377,000. This one you have to be at least 4 meters close to the guy for it to out damage this one. And I prefer consistency rather than, just a higher damage increase if I can get close enough to the guy. If you're more than 4 meters further, if you're 4 meters further than the guy, then it's gonna do less damage than this one right here. So I like to take Peerless Dragon King. That's this move right here. It's targeted. You just click somewhere. Normally I use it if people are knocked down and they don't have their tech roll up. So now I'm gonna get into some combos that I use in PvP matches. So one thing to note is that Advancing Strike is your bread and butter move. It's 5 seconds, it's a dash, and it's a knock-up. That's really good. I'd suggest you abuse the heck out of this. It's really good for what it does. So one go-to combo you can go to is Advancing Strike into Instant Hit, into Wild Tiger Strike, into True Art Eruption, as I'm about to show here. Another good one is if you have a decent shock meter, you can go for a Death Sentence. So it goes like this, and yeah, that does a lot of damage, assuming you have a high shock meter. Yeah, you can also follow up with a stun into Fist of Destruction. Let me just show that here. What you can also do is you can use your Sweeping Strike to catch someone who's not using any stagger immunity. So for example, you can catch them like that. So if I know the opponent doesn't have their get up, then I straight up just skip the stun and go straight to Wild Tiger Strike. An easy combo you can just straight up do is Charging Blow into Rising Fist. That just works. You can do that if you just want some quick damage, or the stun and the Wild Tiger Strike are on cooldown. So a tip I want to mention is that if I land an Advancing Strike and I knock the opponent down, chances are they'll use their get up roll. And then I'll follow up directly after with a Dragon's Descent. Yeah, after that, they're completely knocked down, and I'll straight up just go all in, using all my skills, and quickly get out. So one thing I also want to cover is, at the start of every match, you'll always have a full yellow meter and no green energy. So that timer that happens, if you're playing a 3v3, that 10-second timer before the gates open, you can still use skills. So what I like to do before the gates open and the match starts is I'll throw out a Wild Tiger Strike into 2 charging blows. And by the time the gate opens, everything will be off cooldown. And you just generated about 50 to 60% of the green bar. If you don't do that, and let's say the first move you land is a stun, and you want to follow up with Fist of Destruction, you don't have enough energy to do that. So, what I'm saying is, you should take time to generate energy at the beginning of the match. And speaking of generating energy, sometimes if I don't have enough green energy, if the match has already begun and no one's on me, I'll literally just throw out a random charging blow to just generate green energy. And if I'm good on green energy, but I'm somehow low on yellow energy, I would use Sweeping Strike. It's 8-second cooldown, it's fast, and it'll come back pretty quick. And I don't really use this a lot in actual combos, but it is good to just throw out there to generate yellow energy. You do not want to use your other green moves to generate yellow energy. They have at least a 24-second cooldown on them. Yeah, I think that about covers the guide. I hope this helps get some people started. If there's anything in this video I didn't cover, or I'm missing, or you have extra questions, then feel free to write it down in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them. And if you enjoyed, consider subscribing and also checking out my Twitch. I play on the Russian servers, so yeah, I am playing on 125 ping, but I manage somehow. And yeah, I'll see you later.